Agonu back on her former home patch against fellow Italian and former coach Giovanni Guidetti, who will know her better than most. A big front row awaits Agonu here as the tension is building. Both teams are looking to lead Pool C after this evening. The difference between them so far, just one set. Bozzetti's going to get us underway. The cheers are loud and the crowd are excited for this one, as I am, and I'm sure you are at home. And the ball goes to the outside. Silla's looking for the decision. The ball was certainly out from my seat, but Silla's looking for the touch. Well, that is what you call an early challenge here in Istanbul. Navarini is fully aware that he does not want to give VakifBank anything here this evening, and if he has to challenge the first ball, he will. He's questioning whether there was a touch of that finger, and the point goes VakifBank's way. And in turn, Milano lose a challenge as well as the opening point. Bozzetti going deep, and it's an ace from Bozzetti. A perfect start for the Italian against the Italians here in Istanbul. Well, came off the bench in the opening game against Kalkit Kamnik for 3 points. Well, Agonu doing what Paolo Agonu does, and that's making very good blockers and defenders look slightly average at times. Well, big evening. It's a huge evening for Lamperini Constantino, and it's a good start. I mean, I'm sure Greek fans will be watching closely as she looks to try and use Anna Danesi in the offense to try and hold the opposition middle blocker and then try and find some space on the wings as well. But she signed from AK Athens. This so far her sternest test, but the good news is for the setter to have the likes of Agonu around her. Silla, that's a lot of experience in these big games, and also Daudarop Danesi. I mean, there's nothing that a lot of this Milano's side haven't seen to the pin. That's a high crush, but to no avail. Agonu's going to have to give that free ball. Markova will want this ball back, but no. And that's incredibly tidy. Kira van Rijk on the right side, cross body, fast and sharp. The width of the set is absolutely money to allow that cross-court angle to open up. That's the best scorer in Turkey over the last 2 seasons. A big move. Canada, certainly a nation growing all the time internationally, and I'm right to have a 3 times Norseka champion. Miriam Silla, who for me really shone all the way back in the 2018 World Championships. That's a phenomenal angle. And when you have outsides at 199 centimeters, these are the angles that they can hit. That's undiggable, and I think even if you had 3 in the block, nobody would be home. Great start for VakifBank. They lead. Well, we see this time and time again, and Miriam Silla has worked on her passing time and time again as well, in the way that she angles that ball in. Good serve to position 1. And that's a side out. Not the easiest positions to pass from, and that's a brilliant pass. That's going to open up that right side. Really good work from VakifBank. Again, the pass this time from position 1 to position 3, which is the front center, opens up the right side attack. Markova has just come in and hit 2 angles, one on the left side sharp, one on the right side sharp, and that is difficult and it's gnarly. And Marina Markova has started all guns blazing here. All the serving to position 1 at the moment. That's going to make it slightly tougher to maybe use Agonu, but again, the passing is good from both sides. Agonu with the serve. Off the hands, but out of bounds, and you can see that Pozzetti now is onto the front court, so it's a different type of set that she's receiving, a quicker one, and it's off the hands, off the block. Silla again the target. That short serve gets her out the pipe at least, but Paola Agonu, and I need to stop sounding surprised when Agonu hits all these different angles, but hits that first one deep into the angle. This one, she just buries one to the line fast. And now the Dutch international Nika Dauderop, who will be looking to cement this place in this first 6 for Milano. But this right side at the moment is cooking, whether it's Van Rijk or whether it's Markova in that one rotation from that right side. They're 3 from 3. There's also the MVP playing in Poland. And for Van Rijk, because it's another side out for Milano. Both teams are finding their side out rhythm very nicely. Van Rijk played in Rezov. 3 Norsega champs, bronze medals to her name, but also bronze in the CEV Cup when she was playing with Yolari. That included playing with Giovanni Guidetti's wife, the legendary Bahar Toksoy Guidetti. Also in that team, Hannah Hoffman, another Canadian as well, Emily Maglio. And that team coached by Marcel Abundanza, who after that stint headed out to Korea to coach out there. Slide attack this time, as there is no front court right side. Pozzetti on the left, or the middle running around the back. That will certainly open up a pipe attack as well from Markova. It might open up a 10 attack in the inside for VakifBank, but they've used the slide the first time of asking. And because of that, other options should open up on other flanks. So far, a lot of float serving and a lot of first phase side outs, high level stuff here in Istanbul. Silla's going to get this one. Ball's off the net, there's 2 up. 2 points in succession. Guidetti slapping his clipboard, over the moon with his Chinese superstar edition this season. Xinyu won 2 points in a row. Pozzetti back to serve for a second time. Agonu on the long line pipe. It's a big distance to try and find Agonu, and it's just not quite in the hitting window. The timing's out. This time flat to Silla. Pozzetti steps up at 6, and you would imagine that she's so high at 6 because the block didn't quite close. And yeah, more physical stuff from both sides. Oh, what a play. We're talking about things that 2-meter outsides can do in this game that others can't. And this from Marina Markova is one of them. That ball is way inside, off 1 foot, and it's still hammered to the floor. VakifBank are looking big. Milano are looking big as Anna Danesi, Olympic gold medal winning captain, storms through the middle again. A very quick play, hammered to 1. Silla. Dart to 5. And maybe this is one thing that Lavrini's looked at. He said, okay, when Markova's on the front court, we're going to go after her with the serve and try and put her under pressure. And that was a very quick serve, straight down the line. This time moved in short, but the reception is good. She gets the ball back and off the hands again. And where we've seen that sharp angle attack from Markova, this time, because she was served short, that sharp angle's just taken away from her, but she can stay so high and off the hands. There's lots of different ways to score a point in this game. Short serve this time on the front court receiver. Similar tactics from both sides. VakifBank make the block this time though. You would think the setter's hands had been forced to the wing there. The short serve. A very, very good one. This time the ball's in a better position, the ball's higher. It's more on the net, so it just means that they can spread the ball, Milano. And that's exactly what Constantiniu does this time. Gets the one-on-one. The ball moves quicker than the blocker's feet. Eye catch, who's been a superb libero for this VakifBank side. Gets the ball in and VakifBank prevail again. Still got this 2-point lead early on here. You'd say that in these big games, yes, the second setter, Silla Kaliskan, has done a great job in the opening 2 matches, but this is another test for her in her first season from Yulari. And she is putting the ball on a plate. Well, VakifBank might just have a little look at a challenge here. Guidetti says no, and it means Agonu's back to serve. That relationship with VakifBank only lasting 1 season for Agonu. And, well, it would certainly be interesting to know how that relationship was here with Guidetti and in Istanbul, as I'm sure that every team that has Paola Agonu would like to keep her for more than a year. But she has won the Champions League 3 times with 3 different teams. She's obviously part of, or she was part of this Milano team that lost to Amoko in Antalya at the end of last season. Agonu. That's an absolute bullet from Agonu, and then there's a little bit of afters through the net. I just had a little look at Nika Daldarov. Who started for Milano in Antalya with Silla on the outside, but she was replaced after the opening set to Helena Cazolte, the French outside. She's been preferred again this evening though, but 2 French players in this Milano side, including Juliette Gelin, the libero, who again is taking big strides in her career, but this is another big evening. But Daldarov has been served, and she's been served a fair amount, and that pass is strong. The only time I can remember her, it wasn't even an error, but the one where she was served short and blocked, maybe the only time she's looked compromised in the past, because she just didn't generate the angle to the right side of the court, position 2, to really open up the game for the setter. VakifBank go on that slide again, and they're 2 from 2 on the slide attack ball. That connection is a good one. Gazzetti on the wing, and you'd think the next time that ball goes in, Markova will have free rein on the pipe attack if they choose to use it. big. But the chase is on. What a touch, but to no avail. Silla absolutely unleashed into the angle. Good footwork off the ball. A real dynamic step close, but that's exactly what we expect from one of the world's best on the wing. Again, they target 5 here. And again, they go on the slide attack. Markova's on one wing, and this time they go to the wing, headshot. And if you haven't seen Marina Markova play before, you are seeing exactly what she's capable of right now, high and unstoppable. The best server in the Indonesian league in the summer, where she spent the summer playing in Jakarta. Had 20 points in the opening game against Kalkit Kamnik and 11 against Porto. Let's have a listen in at the timeout.
He's growing like this, aggressive. We miss one ball between defense and one good touch in blocking. Be ready for this. If we recover one ball with this attack that we are putting in the court, we are going great. Okay? Fine, go!
Navarini not disappointed. Wants to keep aggressive serving, and with the front court that they have at the moment, especially Yuan Xinyu, I make it 3 out of 3 on the slide attacks. You might know better, but a block to go with that already this evening. It just provides the perfect balance with the height they have on the wings as well. Joust, one, Sila Kalishkan is firing Guidetti up, and now Guidetti's telling a few secrets behind the clipboard as well. Tenesi looks under a little bit of pressure. Milano look under a little bit of pressure. They're in the Lions' den, and at the moment, the Lions are on top. Silla goes high, touch off the defense on the way through. Zeti so far incredibly solid, as well, spoilt with riches on the outside, with Çavuşoğlu on the bench as well. Back to the right side, and now it's the perfect split, isn't it? And you can see exactly where Guidetti was heading with the balance of this team. Van Rijk on the right side with that potent cross body. They have height and physicality everywhere, and at the moment, Sila Kalishkan is distributing the ball beautifully and opening up gaps for all of them. And there's the first error of the evening for Paola Agonu. Milano is stepping away just slightly at the moment, and VakifBank are serving incredibly well. Sila is in the thick of it again, this time from the service line. Second timeout taken from Milano. It wasn't quite what Lavarini was asking for in the first timeout he took just moments ago, as he goes straight to Agonu to discuss matters, you think, offensively. One hour error, from Paola Agonu. Silla's serving just all-round game so far. Means they haven't missed the great Chansu Özbay. I mean, Guidetti will certainly be hoping that Chansu is back quickly. Again on the front court receiver, Daldorop passes the ball off the net. It gives a chance for 3 blockers. Markova just works well to get across, as with the pass being off the net, it's telegraphed to everyone that the ball's going back to Daldorop. And to be fair to Daldorop, she makes some lemonade from some lemons, goes high off the hands to score. To the middle this time, Zaragunesh. And it's very rare that a commentator has to wait till this late moment in any set to mention Zaragunesh's name, but when she's called upon, she delivers. VakifBank 2 away here from a fantastic opening set performance and a 1-0 lead. Again to Daldorop. The set this time is tight, and the VakifBank blockers are all over it. What a run from VakifBank. What an opening set. And the Turkish fans are having a wonderful time. 5 set points. Daldorop again, just leaking the pass off the net. It has to go back to her. 2 blocks in a row. VakifBank are on fire here in Istanbul. It's Van Rijk that takes the block. It's VakifBank that take the opening set here. They're big on the wings, and even without Chansu Özbay, they are delivering the goods in all departments through Silla Kalishkan. A great run of serves. 2 blocks in a row on the Dutch international Nika Daldorop, and there is the opening set score, 25-19. Vero Volley Monza have it all to do already. The momentum with VakifBank Istanbul. Monika Slocic, Kim Hill, Milena Rasic, Naz Aydemir Akor and Kuba Akman. That 2023 winning team, so strong. We've mentioned Agonu's 40 points in that game against Akçakabasi, Vero Bogu, Gabi, Clara Bayema, Zaragunesh, Daldorop also playing on the same side as Agonu in Milano colours this evening. First point goes to Miriam Silla. That slide attack has been stopped finally. And that's the first time that Won Shin-Zhu has been stopped. Someone who's actually following in the footsteps of Xu Ting in moving to VakifBank. Xu Ting now a 2-time Champions League winner. Back to business. On the pins, VakifBank are very dangerous indeed. The rushing outside has hardly been stopped. Hammers the line. Well, we've seen her hit into the angle so often as well that in turn you have to put a cross-court block up on her, but she's got the arm swing and the height really to generate power to both sidelines pretty comfortably. Back to the outside, security ball. What a touch that is. And Milano have a chance to counter. No counter. First time maybe blocks. Silla's on the floor, and again we see Jelling get involved with libero after that absolutely outrageous dig. Another time to the wing. Markova's been stopped in the cover. Brilliant, but the set's not there, but the volley to 1 is there. And that is a lesson in shrewd decision making. The ball not there to hammer, too low. But well done to the middle, stepping in and taking every little bit of that set. Won Shin-Zhu has just put up a good enough ball for Markova to volley it away to the line. Agonu. Again, just keep an eye on how many times the setter's under pressure to find Agonu over long distances. And as it stands, Agonu's not quite getting that ball where she would like it in a hitting window. And that's kudos to the serve of VakifBank, putting that pressure on Lamprini Constantiniou. Markova's put that ball in really nicely. Van Rijk on the 10 attack. And that's exactly what we were speaking about earlier. They run the slide so often that then they'll go to the 10 and try and find a gap. And Milano have got 2 on the right side of VakifBank. And Udinese has made an incredible career at being quick to the flanks and taking a lot of space. Well, Milano have certainly shown a little bit of a bounce back compared to the back end of that opening set. See the Kalishkan, whose serving was potent. Again, Dalderop passing quite straight, but the ball was tight enough to make the VakifBank middle commit, and in turn she had a lot more room to play offense into. But again, have a look at Agonu, is so far away in the offense from the setter that the pressure is certainly always on Milano to get the ball to their star opposite. 3 in the block, good night. Dalderop struggling when she's got 3 against her, especially as the approach from Dalderop here, out of system. The set was quite wide compared to her approach line. She's forced to the line and it's good night. Again, Monza out of system. And again, they're punished by the big block of VakifBank. But that one just snuck out the back. And when it's not Markovo, it's Spazzetti on that left side that's just so quick with the feet. That ball's not in the perfect spot. Fading away as she hammers it, but on the pins this evening, VakifBank have been faultless. So Agonu again has been very quiet so far. Silla tries to push Dalderop out of the pass so she can release offensively, and it just about does enough to put VakifBank under pressure and work this free ball. Back to Dalderop, she's been blocked again. Guidetti's on the court as well. Dalderop struggling, and maybe Lavarini's going to be forced to the bench at some point. Been blocked 4 or 5 times at the back end of set 1 and the start of set 2, squeezing into the angle. And out of system, really sealing the line. The pass again from Milano is starting to falter. And you can say that this evening, Monza are missing Alessia Oro, but at the moment, the pass hasn't been there, and again the pass isn't there. Again, Agonu isn't used. The ball's gone to position 4. It's all too predictable at the moment, and VakifBank are taking their chance when it's handed to them. The pass again off of the net. And it's one thing for Milano to be missing Oro. It's another thing that their current setter is under so much pressure due to the passing of Dalderop Silla. They're under immense pressure at the moment. And the ball certainly isn't in the right spot when the hit is needed the most. Interesting to see what happens here. That out of system ball was just a tad too wide on Dalderop. We don't see that one there, but in those out of system plays, that miss is high and inside on that left side attack to allow the hitter to get their feet to the ball and really hammer it high. Some highlights. Mostly highlights for VakifBank fans at the moment. So Lynn served, and again the pass is really off. And Agonu with a high-class swing. When the ball's off the net, to the ordinary human being, the cross court is really favoured, and it's so difficult to turn back line. And this is the change that we were talking about. The French international Helena Kazad coming in just to steady the pass, one would think, coming in to serve as well, but you would expect it to stay on the back court as well. At the moment for Lavarini, nothing is quite working. VakifBank look too strong so far, but they're two high-class sides. Milano just have to try and find their pass, and everything should work from there. Set slightly off, that's better for Silla. And when Silla's turning those sorts of angles away from the body, you know that the first two contacts are very, very strong. Wow, that's from way off the net, and that's a hammer into the cross court in a difficult situation. It's going to go back to Bozzetti. Bozzetti this time, so crafty. Good decision making. I mean, a volleyballing family usually produce good thinkers of the game, and Bozzetti this time turns one back off the block in a swing that was just as impressive as that first hammer into the angle from a good 1.5 meters off the net. VakifBank still by 3 here. Serve to position 1. Really well done from Jelin to get that ball to position 3 again. It makes it difficult to use Agonu in that rotation because that ball's always travelling away from the setter, Guidetti. Well, someone's just put €1 in Giovanni Guidetti, and he is flying here. Let's have a look. Well, it doesn't look like any net infringement. We're going to have another look. Apologies, I missed the initial decision. Giovanni Guidetti, such an inspirational leader, but also a man of great charisma and charm off of the court, and unstoppable. If anyone watching from home can tell us how you stop the new VakifBank outside Marina Markova, please write in and let us know. Hits all sorts of angles, makes good decisions. 2 meters tall, as athletic as they come. And Silla has been stopped. The blocking from VakifBank continues, and the lead extends. Serve on to Silla again. This time the pass is quick, but she has just smuggled one through Turkish customs with the overpass. And just as we're talking about Markova's offensive threats, she's just potentially taken her eye off the ball, so to speak. But if you're VakifBank, that's a play that you still have great confidence with, because you're forcing the passing problems of the opposition. VakifBank are relentless at the moment. A 5th in last year's Champions League. Not what the doctor ordered, but great teams fight back. And so far, this has been almost a perfect performance. Bozzetti's so high up at 6 to take that first ball, and Bozzetti's defense orchestrates the transition attack, and they are lethal here. Bozzetti really high up on that middle attack, making the dig on the very strong Danesi. And VakifBank don't seem to be missing chancellors by quite as much as Milano are missing Alessio Oro at this moment in time. That's an interesting thing. Milano now find themselves 5 points down. They try and up the service pressure. And with that, they start to miss some serves. Still at the target again. It's a little bit quick. Still no Agonu, but working the ball in. It's a good setting to get the middle into the game there from Milano. Elena Kratić, the 195 middle blocker from Serbia. 23 points so far in this Champions League season. Sweeping to the line. Agonu's up on the tip. Silla's just sweeping round to the line. But I don't know about you guys watching from home, but I can't remember VakifBank making too many errors at this moment in time. When they do make an error, they have so many options. The pass has just been superb, and that would be the main difference thus far in this game, that VakifBank have managed to get the ball on the money maker, and with the height that they have offensively, it's just too difficult to stop. Agonu. Another error from Paola Agonu. And you'd say again, this set, whether we get another look at it or not, we don't know, but that set potentially a little bit too inside and just forcing her the wrong side of the sideline. Silla again serves short. That takes her out of the pipe attack. Agonu goes back into the angle, and once again, VakifBank are there defensively. Having worked with Agonu for a whole season, Guidetti will know a lot about Agonu and her certain tendencies in situations. The tip work is very good. This time Agonu high on the 10, where she has to try a different idea, to stay aggressive and high as opposed to fast to the sidelines. The substitution in high ball. This is VakifBank a little bit out of rhythm. We haven't seen that so much. And Riken to the block, who's been faultless so far. Then they run the middle. The distribution so far from VakifBank has been perfectly orchestrated, and again 2 times to the middle. This is really nice work once more from Silla Kanishkan in this side due to the injury to Chancellor's by. And all this is going to do, the longer ball to the middle, the C ball, the push ball, whatever you call it, wherever you're from, is going to open up the offense on the right side, but also open up more one-on-ones for Bazzetti on the left. And we haven't even seen the pipe used from VakifBank as of yet. Long ball this time. It's one of those things, service pressure. When you're feeling the pressure and you try and add a little bit of pressure from the baseline, the tide that you're swimming against can sometimes get that little bit tougher. 5-point game, comfortable so far. Because of passing like this, it doesn't matter if they change the outside or the libero. The passing struggles continue And this time the ball is telegraphed to Agonu, and she's shut down on that right side. And monster block echoes out around the arena. And it's an arena filled full of VakifBank fans pushing this VakifBank lorry over the line. Milano are on the struggle bus at the moment. Agonu with an error. She's been shut down. The connection at the moment, you would say, not quite there with Lamprini, Constantino.
Lamprini. Okay, keep working for improving the quality of when the ball is off the net. Keep this ball much closer, in 4 in particular. We can play some middle blocker, also in transition because they are anticipating it. Right, go.
See, the feedback is to the setter. Situations like this when the ball is off the net to be more aggressive with the set. And you can see it here that Agonu can easily take that ball another half a meter forwards, and in turn we've also seen her in that same ball go to the line so many times away from the body, and this time VakifBank are on it. Good timeout from Lavarini. We haven't seen really Danesi dominate this game, Curtis either, because the pass just hasn't been there. But we even know if VakifBank do go 2-0 up, nothing is signed, sealed, delivered. But my word, what a performance. We know that Won Xinyu is coming into this league with a lot of accomplishments to her name, an Olympic gold medal. She played at Tianjin Bohai Bank for 5 seasons. But she's just stepping in here and delivering the goods, and because the pass is so strong, when they do go to the outside, they are free, and we haven't seen that from Sila yet. The second ball dumped, they're using the middle. Danesi's concentration and her focus is thinking about the quality of the first pass, whether she commits with Zaragunesh, which she does, but because Zaragunesh is on the wider set to the middle, there's a gap that opens up, and Silla takes full advantage of that. Silla this time passing the ball and slapping it into the cross-court angle beautifully. Something tells me there's still a lot of work to be done here. Dowdrop comes back onto the front court. That makes complete sense. But they're going to have to try and spark something in the pass. This time off the net, smart. Dowdrop with a brilliant touch. Off block cover on the tip is very strong from McKibb. Now she has to make a block, but she's late fronting her hitter up because she's chasing back to her position. Van Rijk stays very strong to the line, and VakifBank are running away with this one. And every time in this rotation, the service to Won is putting pressure on the pass and taking Agonu out of the game for some periods. I think there's a net touch against Markova. Another serve to Won, forcing the middle. In an ideal world, that pass would have been a little bit more off the net, and the set would have been forced to 4. But again, Silla is starting to, Silla Kadishkan is understanding the game and what's being done to her tactically and working the middle. Marina Markova has been sensational so far this evening, and she is serving for the second set. Agonu has performed so many miracles in Champions League history, but she's going to have to try and perform another one from the baseline. Silla's stopped on the pipe. We haven't seen so much of the pipe attack so far. To the middle. Gunesh this time gives VakifBank a 2-0 lead here in Pool C of the Champions League. It's been dominant. It's a team with physicality and balance. And in Silla Kalishkan, they have found somebody who's orchestrating the offense wonderfully under a pass at the moment that is far stronger than their opposition. Monza find themselves 2-0 down in the Lions' Den here in Istanbul, and it seems like a long way back for Lavarini and his team from here. We go again. Set 3, where Milano have to find some extra spice all over the court, and that's Dowderop hitting herself out of a fiddle. First pass still probably not where Lavarini would want it. He's almost on the court as well. Lavarini, get back a couple of steps. Perfect. A perfect start. And maybe for the first time, this arena has just been silenced, and that's probably what Milano would have wanted in the opening set, but better late than never. The defense is starting to come as well. It's having to be humped on, but that set's way too tight. And this is dangerous. I think it's Danesi that had to step in and set that one, which is 100% not her job. The libero would be taking that at 5, and it's just too tight for Agonu. Good passing. These are the situations that will release Agonu. The ball's in a perfect position to run that ball wherever she wants. Constantinidou can go left, right, middle, or pipe in there, and that's what they've lacked so far. And we can say that they've missed Oro, but at the same time, you have to look at this situation and say, if they can pass better, the setter's job's going to be a lot easier. Agonu with an ace. And Milan have got a little bit of third set syndrome where they're 2-0 down and they throw the kitchen sink at it. But talking of throwing kitchen sinks, Markov has been throwing a kitchen sink at Milano all evening long. Service on the front court receiver again. And again, there's nothing that the setter can do apart from to give that back to Dowderop. And although they scored this time, that sort of pressure over a long period of time will certainly benefit VakifBank more than it will Milan. Service is off the net once more. It's a high ball to the outside. VakifBank having to hit themselves from an out-of-system situation. Tip cover's good. Chance for Silla to just run that ball to the outside again. And it's just incredibly smart. And there's been a change here as Pazzetti that's left proceedings. And you'd think, I'll just wait for confirmation myself here, for Deria Cebichoglu coming in, but let's see. Pass again is way out of rhythm. Dowderup struggling with that pass. Eye-catch in a good position, playing defense to the line. They have to try and recycle positively. They don't recycle positively. They find a way past the block. And all of these little things. Apologies, Bozzetti still very much on the court. Rina Markova. Just a shade under 2 meters tall. She's done a lot of damage. 5 blocks in the first game of the Champions League against Calcut Chemnink, and this evening she's been everywhere. Although Milano got off to a very good start with a 3-point lead, you can see that there's just an underlying lack of confidence still, as VakifBank have got it back on an even keel at the moment. Silla, who's just a joy to watch on that left side, so dynamic, great with the arm, looks to go off the hands this time. Captain Laura Herman, second season here after returning to Monza from Ekjakabashi, where she played under Ferhat Akbas, the main rivals of VakifBank in that Champions League final. Her serve quickly dealt with from VakifBank, again trying to find something from a tough situation, wide and fast. It is shut down. The footwork of the middle blocker, electric here to release on Silla. Yu is fast, moving laterally, and it's more secrets from behind the clipboard from Guidetti. Fast ball to the middle, wide to Agonu. This time turned back into the angle. Guidetti's throwing his toys out of the pram as there's a net touch, and I think Silla says, my bad. You can see just technically how tough it is to hit over that left shoulder, really turning that ball. Paola Agonu. Eye catch, perfect pass, just holds it up, and then really good work from the middle to get across and slow down the play. Agonu's made another one on that right side, and this is exactly what Milano need. More joy on that right side through Agonu. Rag with the serve, forcing the middle into the game this time, but once again, really well watched. The middles have been superb so far for VakifBank, and then right on cue. Well, that one might go against them. And Udinese. Well, there's a few strange looks going on the court, isn't there? No one quite knows what happened there, but the ball is given out. The ball is out of system this time, so Bozzetti has to try and find a way past the block, and this is what she's done so well. Not as high as Markova, but she's found good decisions, worked off the hands, turned the ball, stayed fast with the arm when she's needed to. And in turn, it's the blocking of VakifBank that moves them into the lead. And again, this connection to Daldrup hasn't quite been there. Daldrup tries to fire into the angle, but once more, it's the phenomenal footwork of Yeon Shin-yu that does the damage. Daldrup again having to pass from the inside. You would think that she would have wanted just a little bit more help from the libero in those situations, just to help her out. Fukunomi Satomi was on in the second set. Juliet Jelin share the libero roles here, and neither quite managed to get the ball into the perfect zone. You just think when the front court receiver's getting so much pressure in the serve that everybody would shift a little bit more to that side to help out. Well, so far, these situations, we spoke about it earlier on, where Agonu's under so much stress because that ball is having to be set 6, 7, 8 meters the whole way through, and she's struggling to put the ball away. And somebody who isn't struggling to put the ball away is Marina Markova. Colossal this evening. She hits so many angles that in turn it's difficult to put someone everywhere on the court on her. Agonu off the hands and out of bounds. Agonu's getting a lot more of the ball though. But again, look at how stressed the setter is. We can talk about Milano missing Oro this evening, but if you're also in the shoes of Lamprini, Constantino, then you know that it's very difficult to feed Agonu from these off-the-net situations. It's either long distance or it's situations where she's really crammed to find the perfect spot. And you have to give credit to the tactical serving of VakifBank as well this evening so far, for making it so difficult for their second setter, or the second setter of Milano. Serve back onto Daldrup on the inside, trying to take away her angles hitting, and that's exactly what happens. The ball's forced back to her. Now she's hitting way out of rhythm. She's blocked again, and now they can go to Agonu. They've released her. The set's maybe not quite there for her, a little bit tight, so she has to go with the tip over the top, and she's high enough, and she looks angry enough to do some damage here and now. High and long from Van Rijk out the back, and again some rare errors. She might make one, but she hasn't made two in a row, is she? And you have to always ask questions when players step into new environments, new competitions, and the pressure of that right side jersey for VakifBank with the likes of Hack, Agonu, Lonica, slow chess, just to name a few. It's pretty high. And Van Rijken's been absolutely superb throughout. Away from the body this time, Dauderop finds that wrist away. Three blockers on her again every single time. Gazold comes in. Same substitution at a similar time, and it's difficult coming on as a service sub, that's for sure. And she's going full send from the service line as well. Markova, VakifBank up by 2. Service pressure's really good. And the defense is great. Now they use the pipe. We haven't seen that from Markova, but the middle blocker's on it really quickly. Then Agonu on the 10. We're seeing some big backcourt plays. Did the ball go in and out of play the same side as the antenna? We're about to find out. But according to the referee, the answer was no. And yeah, no. Even Giovanni Guidetti agreed with that one. Laura Herman, Belgium international, Champions League runner-up to serve. It's another missed serve. Lavarini, you can't see his face, but I imagine it was big, scary eyes and from the head coach. That's 2 missed serves in a row, which is a big sin in a game like this, where both teams are heavy float serving teams. Both teams are good blocking teams. Agonu obviously crunching her her spin serve. But 2 missed serves in a row, damaging for Milano, who are desperate to try and force a little bit of a comeback here. Service to position 1. Eye catch with a good pass, yes, to a little bit to the right-hand side. But that's an overpass defensively. Hands on their head stuff for Milano, and that has really been their day. The first touch, passing and defensively, hasn't been as strong as VakifBank. Fukunomi Satomi with that real good Japanese touch of the ball where everything's close and relaxed, and this time maybe just a bit too tense. Another overpass. The service pressure is very high. VakifBank looking for a 3-0 here. Markova on the pipe. They're going there more and more now. We didn't see it in the early stages of this game. They fed the middle, they went to the wing, and maybe this is Guidetti's 5th gear in the 3rd set to start using the pipe, knowing that the 2-meter tall Markova is free to roam. Silla shot down, great cover. Second wave attack. Markova again on the pipe. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? The Russian outside is putting on a show here. Unstoppable so far. Hardly any mistakes in reception or offensively. VakifBank in cruise control with minimal errors and maximum aggression.
Dobbiamo attaccare le dita e rischiare di più alto profondo. Ci tengono troppo. Questi colpi stanno in campo. Noi dobbiamo fare dei colpi che finiscono fuori dal campo. Ogni palla, torniamo subito a rete. Ogni set, lo sapete che conta.
The pipe attack has been the 5th gear here. Something for VakifBank and Guidetti to go to when Milano start to get a bit of a grip on the game. And the pass again faltering. An overpass, another fast one off the arms. Silla's not happy. And Wright's on a heater from the service line. A substitution. Balderov comes back on for the front court once again. Another big serve, this time it's an ace. What a performance. We can talk about Markova, but Van Rijk has been trouble on the right side and behind the service line. The Canadian takes VakifBank to within 4 of a comfortable victory in what was anticipated as a humdinger of a matchup here in the Champions League. More errors this time from Milano. Surely now it's signed, sealed and delivered. Silla has been perfect in the setting department, running the middle, the pipe. Van Rijk's had a lot of good opportunities from a spiking perspective as well. There's a challenge from Milano, but let's see if there's any substance to this challenge or whether it's just Lavarini saying, okay, I've got no other option here. The odds are stacked well and truly against us, and we need to slow this game down. More big serving. Van Rijk again on the 10. How many points have VakifBank Istanbul scored from the backcourt in the last 5 minutes? Bazzetti's on one side. They go to Van Rijk, and that crossbody is troublesome. This run of serves has done serious damage to Milano. And have a look at the body language of Paola Agonu. More passing problems. My word, it's all crumbling now for Milano. VakifBank have match point, and it's been a hammering. This run of serves, tremendous from the Canadian opposite. VakifBank have been so strong. Silla, shot down, no, off the hands. Now it's just a formality. And it's not very often that you see the likes of Agonu, Silla, Danesi, all Olympic gold medalists. Yes, they're missing Alessia Oro in the setting department, and that is a huge blow for them. But you don't see them get beaten this heavily very often. Where's it going to go this time? To the outside. Silla's there, just sweeping on the angle. She sees the approach of Bazzetti. Eye catches in the right spot again. Perfect defense, not put away this time. Chance to seal the deal here. Free ball, slide attack is on. They go on the slide, but again, resilience showing from Milano. Then they get to Agonu. Bazzetti off the hands. Hang on a moment. Maybe not off the hands. Maybe Bazzetti just blew that one to the stars of the stadium here in Istanbul. Well, who knows? We're going to have a challenge anyway. First challenge. No net touch. My eyes here. And to start with, I thought that ball had maybe got a touch and had gone into the stands, but that was a massive hammer from Bazzetti. A big spatch. but still plenty of match points here. Out the back, VakifBank have swept Milano at home. Yes, you heard it. In a clash of the Titans, Giovanni Guidetti's team have delivered in every aspect. And yes, Istanbul is a difficult place to come, but you'll be sure that Milano and Coach Lavarini will be disappointed to go down the way that they did there. 3-0 comfortably in the end. The pass wasn't there for Milano, and in turn they missed their setter, Oro, who missed out on this game. For VakifBank, they have the physicality, they're strong, and they will be very, very hot to watch throughout this Champions League campaign. They've won 2 of the last 3, finishing 5th in the Champions League last season, but it looks as if they are going right back to the top with this performance. Agonu was quiet, Silla was quiet, her and Daldarov under pressure in the pass, and it didn't matter who was playing libero, the ball just wasn't there enough of the time. Istanbul, a tough place to come. VakifBank have performed brilliantly here and taking it 3-0, but surely if you're Milano, there will be more questions than answers. And no surprise that Marina Markova is the most valuable player here, receiving 18 points, 59% reception, 2 blocks as well.